Going to start as always with our standards and mission statement. Now, when it comes to the reminders, I added a few new ones for you guys, and this is more for your personal life as well, but it's a great reminder in the morning. And again, this is always just kind of a rough draft and things that we can add to it and stuff like that. But mission statement's pretty much going to stay at where it is. So, our mission here is to create the greatest group of professional traders compiled in the world. We work tirelessly every day to improve our individual selves and push each other to get the most out of one another. With each individual's personal accountability, 100% effort, and consistent actions towards focusing on our controllables, we will each reach our full potential individually and as a family. I, Stefanos, pledge to be the best version of myself today, to do whatever it takes to be the greatest trader that I can be, and be the most self-disciplined person that I know. I will do the things I have to do today, regardless of how I feel, one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, 1 minute at a time. I will control what I can control and not worry about anything else. Now, reminders, we do not overtrade, we do not over risk. You do not need to catch a trade today. We would like to, but if nothing presents itself, you don't need to take it. 1 to 2 trade ideas per day. 3 if you see that perfect setup. Focusing on capital preservation, keeping your profits from the previous week or from the previous day or previous trade over trying to make as much money as you can on the next trade, aka risk management is number one. If you're in a trade and it's not playing out that well, and you know your risk management keys are starting to take place where you need to cut 50, almost be a robot in that situation. Keep your trading plan in front of you, read through it before every single session. Make smart decisions. That's what we're focusing on. Also focusing on being system oriented, not how much money can I make on this one individual trade. Now, 2 additions to the reminders is I want you guys to have a sense of urgency always. One of the main qualities I've always had is I work fast, right? I'm always like time is money, and you got to make sure that you're thinking about that throughout your day. It's just like I got to get this done. Okay, once I'm done with that, on to the next thing. It's just a sense of urgency is a very great key for success for you guys. But also, one thing we always go over is just eliminate all of your excuses. If the day you start eliminating every single excuse that you guys have of why you're not where you guys want to be, the second you guys start really making some huge strides in your life. And then also, that victim mindset, that cancer, we do not want to have. We want to kick that out every single day. So, fully taking accountability for your actions is one of the best qualities you guys could all have. Every single time that victim mindset creeps in, whether you have some kind of adversity, whatever, why me, why this, all that, cut it out. It does not help you. It's the word. It actually does the opposite. All right. So, looking at the economic calendar this week, we got a busy week, right? Again, I know it's boring, but the first couple of days of the week really starts kind of slow. We got some yellow folder events, not that much going on, but it's not so much that there's not so much going on in the beginning because we do have a lot of events here at this. But what it is towards the end of the week, we have huge events, right? FOMC, interest rates, NFP, all that stuff is all coming out towards the end of the week. So that doesn't mean we're not going to have volume in the beginning of the week, but it's almost like what me and Quentin were talking about before is you want to save your ammo for those big volume days because that's where you're going to get your setups. You're going to get your nice pushes as we are volume traders. So looking at the Monday here, we don't have too much coming out over here. We do have retail sales coming out of Australia. We don't really trade any kind of Australian pairs, I don't think. I'm 95% positive none of you guys do. Looking at Tuesday, as we head into Tuesday over here, we got a lot of data coming out of Europe, retail sales, CHF. You have mortgage approval, some real estate stuff coming out of Great Britain. You have GDP coming out of Canada. Moving into later in the morning, you have Chicago PMI, consumer confidence, which is pretty much going to be the first mover of the week, as opposed to what we got going on later in the week, starting on Wednesday. But consumer confidence, we may get a nice push, especially as you guys know, we get some nice volume at 10 a.m. As of the last, I would say, year. We've gotten some nice volume after that point. We got unemployment data coming out of New Zealand, so that might move the market as well, heading into the later part of the session. But again, I don't think any of you guys really trade any NZD pairs. But looking at Wednesday here, this is where everything starts to pick up. We got manufacturing PMI coming out of Europe. We got the Eurostat coming out. So CPI, core CPI is coming out for Europe for those 13 economies that they're expecting a lower inflation reading over here. So we'll see what they end up doing when it comes to their interest rate later in the week. But they're getting this first, so that's a good thing for them to see first before they start to act on their interest rates. So they're expecting 0.2% less over here year over year for CPI, and then for core CPI, they're expecting 0.1% less over here, expecting 5.1% year over year. Looking over here, we also have OPEC meetings. None of us trade oil, but we can take a look at that, and one of us could break that down. I'll have one of you guys break that US oil down, so we'll see if we get anything. But this is our main thing coming out to start the week, at least, right? We got ADP. Any NFP week, we always have ADP coming out on Wednesday. It doesn't always correlate, but it's always a good, if there's any big surprise with ADP, there might be a big difference with NFP as well, but it's not always the case, right? ISM manufacturing PMI coming out for the US at 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. George job openings, which will be big as well. So that'll be coming out at 10 a.m. But even with these guys coming out, you may or may not get a move earlier in the morning, because what we have later on at 2 p.m. over here, and we'll be back testing at that time, so we could always stay on after 2 p.m. and watch this play out. Maybe we could catch a trade, is FOMC, right? So what is the Fed going to do? Are they going to raise by only 25 basis points over here, or are they going to raise by 50? We don't know just yet, but I think the main thing is they are going to raise by 25 basis points, but the main mover is probably going to be what Powell says after. That's where you're going to start to get that move. And what we always talk about with FOMC is 2 p.m. the rate comes out, 2:30 the press conference, and then 3 o'clock is where you typically understand what Powell's talking about during that press conference. And 3 o'clock you could really trade the trend at that time. That's where you could really catch that move. So that's Wednesday. That'll be exciting. Looking at Thursday, now it's Great Britain's economy. Now you guys are experiencing some stagflation right now with high inflation and not much growth going on in the economy. So we'll see what they end up doing. It looks like they're going to be raising by 50 basis points. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. If they go by 75 basis points, that'll be a big difference, or a big surprise when it comes to Great Britain, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if that happened either. Also, Eurozone, right? They're going to be increasing their rate as well by 50 basis points as expected. And then moving into 8:30, we got unemployment claims, as we get every Thursday, right? So ECB press conference is going to be going on as well. Lagarde's going to be speaking. But that's about it for Thursday. Not that that's not that much, but it's good because we'll be, I would say we can start around 6:30 or 6:45 on Thursday. All right, so that we could catch that bank rate. We'll break everything down and see what we're expecting over here, because that's coming out at 7 a.m. I don't want to just jump onto the charts and just start looking at that all of a sudden. So that'll be coming out at 7. So Thursday we could start at 6:30. All right, so looking at Friday, big day as well. We got NFP coming out, right? So it's, again, huge week. Maybe not as much in the beginning of the week, which you guys got to be careful with. And not that we're not going to catch a move, but right now we do have some pretty rangy markets. So today is one of those days you may just want to chill out. It's one of those weeks where, like, Monday is that day that you just want to sit out, watch the market play out, see what we end up doing. You don't have to force anything. And then Tuesday, you really start taking some trades, maybe even tonight. Right, retail sales coming out for Australia, so there could be some moves in the market tonight for the Asian market, which is basically Tuesday starting, right? So, but again, you got NFP coming out over here. They're expecting less jobs added, unemployment rate. They're expecting a hike by one basis point, or 0.1% over here, and then ISM services PMI coming out for the US as well. So a lot of those, and then also you got services PMI coming out for Europe in the morning for you guys trading London. And I saw in the London chat that you guys you're gonna start sending charts in there. I think Sergio, you said you're gonna start trading London this week, right? Or this month?
Yeah, I'm gonna be starting first.
Awesome, awesome. No pressure if you're not comfortable with it, but if you've been looking it over for the last couple months and seeing some of the moves and stuff, getting an idea of how it moves. Also, we've been back testing it too with that account, right? So we've been back testing. I would say for the last that last account that we grew to 10%. I think we traded London almost every single day on that. So get a fairly good idea of what to expect on there, but. Before we head over to the charts, just want to say hello to Sergey, and we got Sammy, we got Jamie, Lim. What's up, boys?
Morning.
Oh, sounds a little tired, huh?
Just a little. Got a little frog in the throat, but I'm good.
There you go. You have a good weekend?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I spent the weekend in the lab, me, being the
There you
mad
go.
scientist right now. I had to go back and do some evaluation and reread my rules, watch a couple of videos, get back at it, do some back testing. So I'm ready to go. I'm good.
Let's go. Love it, man. That's awesome. Sammy, I don't know if you're there, but how is 9 o'clock for you? You want to hop on a call? Me and Sammy were playing phone tag all weekend. I would call him, he'd call me. We both miss. I don't know if he's there. Yeah, okay. Sounds good. All right. So starting with GJ, starting on the monthly. As you guys know, actually, I was just talking about Monday being the day that you might want to chill out. It's also, I think, the last day of the month. No, tomorrow's the last day of the month, but that's where a lot of banks taking profit. There's a lot of things going on with central bank or not central banks, but big banks, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, all these big banks are really taking profit at the end of a month and repositioning stuff like that. So these are the days, especially with all these yellow folder events going on in the economic calendar. This is a day you might want to chill out for a second, especially with all the data coming out next week. So that's just another reason why you may want to just watch the market today and see what it gives you. If you get a setup, take it, right? But I would definitely lower my risk. But looking at this monthly, still pretty strong right over here. I know we've been ranging around this area over here. Move you guys right around that 161 area. We've just been ranging and holding that resistance, but also holding those higher lows. So can we continue to rise over here? And that really depends on how much they increase their interest rates by this week, and also depends on what Japan ends up doing as well with their normalizing monetary policy and what they start to continue to say. Looking at the weekly is again bullish, right? We've already created that bottom wick as well. These candles are getting weak. This kind of looks like what it looks like right now. Like if you just looked at these three candles right here, gold, I think on the weekly or the monthly looks pretty much exactly the same, but you're starting to see that exhaustion. Still bullish, but you see that exhaustion. But price is holding support around that 160 area, which me with my OCD. There you go. So again, we're holding that support right in this area over here. Also that previous resistance over here with that candle as well. We ended up closing above, holding support again. And then this candle so far is respecting the low of that candle to start the week off. Are we just going to start to push with a clean move to the left past the high of the previous candle and honestly follow the analysis that we were calling out last week where once we break that resistance here, I'll show you in the lower time frames. Yeah, here on the daily. Obviously holding that support, but we're holding this resistance right here as well. And we've been creating these higher lows here, right here, and then also another higher low, but also holding the same resistance. So when that ends up happening, there's a lot of times where price will break out of this area. Now, a lot of that has to do with fundamentals right now. As you can see, we've been ranging for the last week, last 5-6 days over here. We've just been sitting in this range, rejecting 161, 700, 800 over here, but also holding support at 160. So where are we going to break out? It could go either way. And then once we do, you got some clean candles here on the left on the higher time frames that you can end up mirroring to the left over here. We'll see on the lower time frames. But if you get a nice close above either or below either of these areas, you might be able to get a nice move. All right. So holding support right in here. I guess you could draw it like that. It's starting to really look like, a no trade range, right? You may want to just sit here. It's on the 4 hour. Most of the time on the 4 hour, if it looks like this, you're not going to want to trade in the lower time frames. Just wait for that resistance to break over here, and obviously that'll probably break with the monetary policy statement in either direction, right? We'll see. But right here, I'm probably just going to adjust this. Obviously, we got 160 marked off as well. That'll be a big deal if we close below that area, but that's your nearest support right over here. So once you break that, you got a clean move coming right down into 157, 700, right? Holding that support, clean candles all in this area that you want to be able to mirror and just grab your setup right here and take this thing down, right? That's almost 200 pips for you right there. So again, if you see that setup, take that. Again, on the higher side over here, you got a clean move coming up. Oop, did that. You got a clean move coming up right here, all the way into that resistance for about 500 pips. Got that resistance right there. Now you also have obviously 166 key level on GJ, but also this area. If you catch this clean move up, let's say you get that close above that area, you may want to take some profit somewhere in this area, right? But even there, you got plenty of pips that you could end up grabbing something in here, right? 260. So I would maybe take profit there. You could always hold that lower high. Could be in here as well, but even if it was over here, that you wanna check your trade and maybe take profit, you still got a ton of room. Almost 180, 190 pips. I would say 200 pips right there that you could grab in this range too. So, don't worry about this stuff just yet. This candle easily broke through both of those levels, right? So it could very well easily break through that level on the higher time frame, or in the future as well. Yeah, looking at the hourly here, it's not much different. You just keep blasting into these levels over here. You can see since we created this support down here, since we held that support, we've just been making these higher lows. Let's see if we got a valid trend line. I mean, you could draw it like that, but we know that we're in a bullish trend over here. As far as like the last like 2 weeks, we've been in this bullish trend, creating that higher low. But at the same time, we just keep rejecting this area as well, right? So we just keep rejecting from there. You need that close above. And right now, if you just zoom in, we're holding support right in here, right? Bouncing off that level pretty hard. Last time we bounced off here, consolidated a little bit, grabbed liquidity, and then continued up, but then created this lower high over here, right? Could we very well break through that, or can we end up rejecting it and then catching a move coming down this way to the 30-minute? Yeah, looking at the 30-minute right now, that's our nearest resistance right here. You got to ask yourself if this is something that you even want to trade in. Yeah, you got, 35 pips, but at the same time, like it gets choppy in that area. But let's see what kind of setup you have right over here. Remember what we always said. It's like it really depends on what the candles give us here. So if you get a nice break and retest of this area, you got clean candles coming up. It could be something like this that you end up seeing right here, right? Get a nice breakout of that consolidation right over here, break through that resistance. You could very well catch something up there. But again, be selective. Have that high standard for the market. It's got to give me something that I want to see. And if it doesn't, I'm not touching it. Right. But if you do see your setup, like we were talking with Quentin about, you got to execute. Right now so far, again, we're holding the support right here. We've rejected that area multiple times. If we reject that area, close below this area, and hold this resistance, you do have clean candles coming all the way down, at least into this area, right? So again, everything is 50-50 in this entire range right here, right? So question is, do you want to execute anything in here? Again, you got to be selective. You got to be careful with that. But I'm not saying that it's impossible or you can't do it. Anybody have any questions on GJ?
Nope.
No? Anybody have anything to add?
No thanks.
No? Okay. Let me just put this here. And I'm going to I apologize. I just got to use the bathroom real quick. I was going to do that earlier, but didn't have the time. So let me just use the bathroom. I'll be right back, and then we'll do gold and US 30. Who and anybody that wants to start breaking down charts, because we have some rangy markets today. I want to break down, just go through a bunch, get some efficient breakdowns going, some quick breakdowns too. Just type it in the chat and volunteer, and whoever does it first, then you guys will be on deck. All right, 1 second. All right, sorry about that. Let's not waste any more time. Get right into gold. All right, no questions on GJ. All right, so monthly doesn't look much different, right? We ended up breaking through that 1900, 1910, 1920 area. And right now we're starting to find some I guess, hesitation or some kind of a resistance. Obviously, you got the candle bodies here on the monthly, but starting to see exhaustion is a better word for it, right? Sitting right at that 1925. We finished off at like 1930 last week or something like that. But right now, you could see some hesitation or you could see some exhaustion until Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday on gold. Looking at the weekly here, this is what I was talking about. Very similar to GJ in the past couple weeks, where you got that strong bullish push, and then you get the weaker bullish candles closing, and it's kind of starting to exhaust over here, failing to continue back up. Now, I'm still bullish on gold. I'm very bullish on gold. I don't think we're gonna retrace too much, but at the same time, you could very well pull back anywhere into any of these areas here, and then continue right back up, right? Anywhere we'll see some good areas on the lower time frames, but you could very well see something pulling back and then continuing back up. I don't think you're going to see any kind of reversal of the current bullish few months that we've had. Looking at the daily, now you're starting to see most recent resistance over here. We've rejected in the past, held that resistance. Higher low right over here as well, around that 1900 area psychological level. So that's pretty obvious that you're going to get something like that. And now there's your bullish trend, right? So where could we end up pulling back into on this trend over here before continuing up? You'd see price pulling back right into that area right there. We could pull all the way back to 1900 and then continue back up. We can even pull all the way back to 1830, hold the resistance or hold the support, and then continue back up from there. So many different options, but definitely I am bullish fundamentally on gold as well, because unless the Fed comes out and they're pretty hawkish, and they're like, you know what, we instead of hiking by 25 basis points, we're a little bit worried about inflation. We're going to need to raise by 50 or 75 basis points. If that's the case, you're going to see some more strength or short-term strength in the US dollar, and this thing's going to pull back quite a bit and be bearish for a little bit before continuing back up. But again, with the fear in the market and all that stuff, and with the weaker dollar right now and the dovish Fed, more so dovish Fed, you're going to see this at some point continue right back up, even though we're exhausting a little bit. Right? It could be something like this, where you're still bullish, but you're just kind of consolidating a little bit before continuing back up. Because we have, any kind of bullish trend or bearish trend, you get the impulsive move, the pullback, and then continue up. Or you get the impulsive move, consolidation, and then you continue up. Or you get the impulsive move, consolidation, and then continue right back down. Or just double top or something like that, and then continues right back down. But those are the four pretty much main market structures that you're going to see. So right now we're kind of in that consolidation phase. I think we'll continue out of this at some point. Looking at the 4 hour is holding a strong support at 1920 here. Right, and it's getting more and more clear that we really don't want to trade too much in here. We could very well find something above this current resistance at 1930, 1932, somewhere around that area where we could retest that high up there. But you also have 1937 and 1940 holding a strong resistance as well. So that could pose an issue for us taking buys as of once we break those levels. But right now, our most recent resistance sitting right in this area, previous support as well. Again, you do have a fairly clean move up here that you could take this up, especially filling that wick over there to continue up. But at the same time, it does get a little choppy. And this entire thing, as you guys know, is a range and everything's 50-50. So this is where, if depending on the candles, it really depends on what we get right here. But you may want to wait for at least a bottom wick rejection before taking this thing up. But also breaking retest doesn't hurt as well, right? Just holding that support and then getting a nice setup, nice breaking retest, and then taking this thing north. All right. As far as sells go, always gotta be ready for both biases. Got that support right there. You really draw it like that, right? Where price keeps bouncing off this support over here. This is going to be more of the, you need to wait for this retest before taking this thing down, right? You're going against the trend. We always tell you guys, like, if you're going to trade, call tops, call bottoms, wait for the nearest support to be broken and retested before you take this thing down. Now, I think you're going to have safer sells below 1900, right? Because then you know we're pretty much changing structure down here, right? But over here, is this impossible to take? No, right? You got a big enough range. It is a little choppy. Got about 170 pips over here that you could take. Maybe coming down into here, we can neaten up these zones. I would say I wouldn't touch anything anywhere in here. Wait for this support to be broken, and you got at least something like 95 pips, which is definitely enough to take on gold here. Clean move to the left over here. You get that strong support. Price could bounce off of, right? And we could very well like come over here, hold this support, bounce off that key area right there, and then that could take gold back up. Right? Key area right there. It might not even come all the way down to 1900 before continuing up. Right now we're holding a support up here. Obviously, you got all these wicks. See them on the 30-minute. Yeah, you do have this support right here too. Right? Price keeps bouncing off that area. Previous support and resistance over here. But again, do you want to play that bounce? Do you want to take anything in this area? Probably not. Right? And the more we look at this, the more you might be able to take a move at least to come up and fill that wick over there, as we've tapped into that area as well. So you could see if price breaks above this area, we could at least come into this area right there to retest. And with that being said, you do have 78 to, no, you got like 80 pips right there that you could take. All right. Any questions on gold? Again, very choppy. It's Monday. We got so much economic data coming out the rest of the week that this may be a no trade day, based on what we've seen with GJ and gold so far. But let's go over to US 30. US 30 may give us a move. We'll see. We'll start off with the monthly. I think Tiger just came in here. Did we get anyone else? What's up, Tiger?
Hey, good morning.
What's up, man? You went to that golf simulator, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
Yeah,
like a
it's always
practice game.
always nice going there, right? Just hit
Yeah,
like 100 balls.
get some practice in.
Yeah, work on your swing. It's great. All right. So monthly over here, again, this monthly candle on US 30 has been all over the place as expected. It's a stock market. Fear, greed, all starts to creep in and turns this market quite a bit. So right now, I know we're getting retail sales coming out for something, not for the US, but we're getting FOMC, all that stuff. That's going to be the main focus. But when it comes to stocks and options and all that stuff, you're getting a lot of companies coming out with their sales, right? So that could end up moving the market as well, giving us a good idea of where the U.S. economy is going. So right now, again, the main focus is FOMC. I know a lot of you guys don't even trade stocks, but it's just one thing to look out for. I know McDonald's and all these major companies in the U.S. are releasing their earnings this week. So looking at the monthly, we'll see how this ends up closing. Again, we got 2 days, including today, that before this candle ends up closing, and we'll see where we end up going with it. But it looks like it may end up closing bullish. We'll see. Looking at the weekly now we're really starting to sit in the range, right? We ended up retesting that previous high that we had right over here perfectly, right? And then just barely retested it before it ended up crashing all the way back down to 33,000, right? So once it did that, right, we ended up holding a higher low over here and getting a very strong weekly close last week. All right, so the last week over here, and again, we've been very bullish since the end of last year. So we made that impulsive move, create a high. I would say right here, we pulled back to this support, higher low, retest that high. We failed to break through that area, right? End up rejecting it again, but right now we are holding a higher low over here where price could very well continue back up. This candle is bearish right now, but it could be creating that bottom wick over here where we hold support and then continue right back up. But we'll see what we're doing there on the lower time frames. Move that right over there. You do have this area that you'll probably end up breaking down. There you go. You get that resistance right there. We all know that this was a clear support in the past. Right in that area where we've, recently bounced off of as well with this candle. We kind of bounced into this whole area. It's a very key area. I'm not going to draw it that thick, but right now it looks like what we tried doing was creating a higher low, which is great, right? Strong bullish pressure, pull back, liquidity grab. We push up again. These candles are starting to get a little bit weaker, right? Small body, big top wick over here. This candle respects the high of the previous, passes the low of the previous, right? And I know we have some kind of a support right there. So what are we going to end up doing in here? Pretty much it looks like it's ranging, but we're still creating higher lows where price could very well continue back up. But again, last 2 times we tapped into that area, hard rejection. Right? So are we going to continue back up there, maybe reject again, or are we creating another lower high here as we have here and here to now continue right back down with more fear in the market? Really depends on FOMC. That's what everyone's waiting for this week. And not only that, but like most people know that we're only raising interest rates by 25 basis points, but really what Powell's going to say after that. That's the main focus. All right. So we got our most recent resistance. It was a previous support to the left. Can mark that off to the left as well. Strong area that we just keep bouncing off of over here. Nearest support would be right here that we literally just tapped with the current 4-hour candle. And it looks like right now we're kind of like bouncing off of it, right? Do we have room to take anything in this range? I'm sure we do, right? So we'll see if we get like a close below that. I could see us getting a bounce off this area to continue back up, right? As we've been creating these higher lows. This seemed to be a strong support right here where price pushed into that area. Could we end up ranging in here and maybe grabbing a play to take price up to 34,000 before maybe, we tap into that area again, we get that double top, and then price continues right back down from there if it fails to break through this area again. But that's your most recent resistance and support. Looking at the 1 hour. Now it gets a little tricky. I would keep this right here because that's a strong area. You have that resistance over here to the left as well. And then all this gets really choppy with the data from last week. So what I'm seeing here is that area right there. If I'm going to take any buys or play this bounce right here, I want to see it close above this area to take this out. But once you start getting into here, candles get really small. So that's more difficult to take. I think maybe safer buys are going to be above 34,000 where you could take that move right there. And then obviously you got some continuation coming up into 34,300, 350, anywhere in that area. But right now it's really choppy. We're probably going to end up, as always, just breaking it down from the higher time frames again. We are respecting that bullish trend right there, right? But right here as well, we are kind of respecting a bearish trend. Right? So that just shows you again, like how much of a range we're sitting in over here as we're creating higher lows and then also lower highs. So could you play this bounce? I could see it, and then price continues down from there. But and again, just understanding history, we did this last week as well. Every time we bounce off that area, you get a nice move. So can you play that same exact sentiment? Yeah. See, you're not getting the bullish volume that you got previously in this area. I mean, they did kind of consolidate over here a little bit too. But again, like I said, safe buys are going to be above here. Once you break above that area, I could see price continuing up. Just be careful of this range. Make sure your setup right here is big enough. It's solid enough for you to take something in that range up to 34,000. And then again, if we break below this area over here and continue this bearish trend, you do have a fairly clean move to take price right back down to 33,400. All right. But let's go back up to the daily again. So the daily gives us another clearer idea of where price could go based on already seeing the lower time frames now. So the current daily candle, again, we really exhausted up here, right? This current daily candle is very bearish. We are bouncing off this area in a bullish trend, but at the same time, it could very well end up rejecting. This is our lower high, and this continues right back down. You just don't know. You don't know where we're going to go, and I think that's what the market's waiting for is a lot of that data later in the week. Make sense? I don't think our other pairs have changed too much since we broke them down. Yeah, GJ, a mess. GJ is just kind of ranging in there. Again, question is, do we want to take anything in this daily range over here? Price just kind of consolidating. Current daily candle is bullish. The 4-hour candle, previous one closed bullish as well, holding that support. But right now, it looks like this candle kind of retested that high right there and is now rejecting. Looking at the 1 hour, we're getting a little exhausted over here. So this is what I was talking about, where you retested that high or you held that resistance right there. We finally ended up retesting it over here, but another hard rejection. Then we get this lower high rejection. Are we getting another lower high and, further rejection? Because we did create a lower low as well. So can we push this down and create some kind of a lower low in that area as well? You just got to wait for that range to break. And then gold, I would stay out of this. So this is going to be a chart breakdown kind of a day. So who wants to break down some charts? Damn, no one volunteered already?
I'll go first if no one else wants to.
There you go. Or just give me a first. Give me a first, Charlie.
What you're asking me for what chart?
Yeah, no, yeah. I was just saying, like, forget, like, if no one else wants to, it's like, let me go first.
All right. All right.
What pair would you like to break down?
Don't know. Well, I think I should do a currency.
Okay. I'm just gonna close my eyes and
something with yeah.
Oh, well, let's see what's oil. Want to do GBP USD?
Sure.
Okay.
Go for it.
Love it. All right. Take it away. Remember speed, efficiency.
Yep. Okay, so coming to this zone here, very
There you go.
historical one. Previous major resistance coming into here.
Yep. Nice.
And if you could zoom in just a bit, thanks.
Absolutely.
So we've got this zone here as well. I'm not sure where I'll draw it specifically.
What level is it rejecting multiple times?
Oh, $1.22.
Nice. Calling out the levels. I like it. So would you say like something right in there?
Yeah.
And as you know, like those wicks on the monthly are definitely supports on the lower time frames. like candles.
Of course, yeah.
So on the monthly, you really want to break down the wicks. So you want to mark this off too?
Sure.
Nice. It's probably our next resistance on the monthly.
Yeah, so I reckon we could go down to the weekly now.
Okay. Clear this out.
How do I clear my drawings? Oh, there we go. If you just neaten this one up here.
Yes. Yeah.
We're still looking at wicks being. I was still looking at wicks being support and resistances as well on the weekly.
So yeah, on the weekly, 100%. Weekly, daily, maybe even 4 hour too. That
Okay.
those are your resistances. It's the wicks typically are supports or resistance. So what are you looking for in here? And would you like to adjust?
Yeah, if you could just neaten up this zone here. And bring this recent support.
Remember what we talked
So-
about with wicks.
Oh, right.
You see any particular wick that you want to adjust that support to?
Maybe
You see that
maybe
level
down
right
to
there?
here. Yeah, I was going to point that one out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I helped you too early. And then what did we just retest in the last 3 weeks?
This zone right here.
Yeah, but at the same time, like after bouncing off this area.
Oh
what
yeah,
did
we oh, this wick here, you mean?
Yes, sir. Awesome. So we know that that wick right there, we'll see it on the 4 hour most likely. Oh, even the daily. We already see it on the daily. It's a great job marking that off.
Yeah, so yes, nice support here.
Beautiful. I'll just move that down a little bit right there. Nice. So what do you want to see right now? What do you need to look for?
I think we've got some clean moves to the left here. So if we break,
Yep.
if we break on the day, if we break below here, we've got potential range to be trading in down here. And same again, if we break above here, there's a potential range to be trading in above there.
Yep.
You just neaten that one up there.
Okay. So what do you see right here? What ended up happening in the last like let's say 2 weeks?
We bounced off here and we've made quite a move up to this level here, up to $1.24.
Mhm.
Been very bullish, and now we're sort of ranging through here.
Yep.
Um,
Do you know why we might be ranging right there?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay, yeah, don't be afraid if
Fundamentals.
you don't know. It's okay. When it comes to this, like we ended up finally retesting this high perfectly, right? created a high, we come down, hold that previous support that we have in the past, and bounce up hard to retest the high. And now what's going on is price is kind of consolidating. As soon as we retested that high, it's like, okay, now we're grabbing orders to figure out, are we going to continue through that area or are we going to continue right back down? Do you know what would need to happen for price over here to continue right back down?
Some strong economic data, like positive economic data for the US.
Yes, 100%. But
Pound
also, what's going on this week when it comes to the Fed?
Oh yeah. What we've got coming up.
You phoned a friend with Serge.
Oh, did I? Serge is helping me out. Thanks, Serge. I can't read his message at the moment.
Yeah, he was just saying the Bank of England and the Fed. Right. So
Oh,
like
right,
let's say the Fed is surprisingly hawkish, right? You're gonna see this thing potentially reverse over here. Let's say the Bank of England doesn't raise by 50 basis points. Maybe they only raise by 25. That could happen as well. If the opposite happens for both banks, this thing's going to continue up. If it's status quo, I don't think you're going to see a big move. Like if the Fed raises by 25, Powell just says the same things he's been saying. Same thing with Bailey and the Bank of England, and they raised by 50 basis points, and they're just continuing to talk about inflation. This thing maybe not move that much, or this thing might continue bullish again, right? Because then we're still seeing a weaker US dollar compared to last year. So this thing could just continue its trajectory up, right? Breaking through that resistance and continuing back up to that area. And then you're going to have some nice safe buys right here. Right?
Yep.
Clean move to the left. But those are great levels so far. Let's go to the 4 hour real quick. 4 hours should be easy. Just adjusting. We're most likely not trading in there, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And what would you regard that as a fake out? Or?
Yeah, 100%. So you got a little fake out right there. Price broke right back into that range, created that higher low right in this area. Right, previous resistance over here to the left. Now you're looking for a break above that resistance. And once you get it, where are you looking to go next? This is the 4 hour, remember. Where's your next resistance?
Yeah, up here.
Awesome. Beautiful. So 125, right? So if we could break 124.3, we're heading for 125 psychological level, and got some clean candles so far on the 4 hour to the left.
Yeah.
Same exact thing over here on the 1 hour. I don't want to touch this. You're good staying out of that. I would say look at the 30-minute. Yeah, same thing. I mean, maybe just adjust that right there.
A bit, yeah.
Beautiful. And stay clear of this. But great job. I want to go back to US oil because I think that's what you broke down last week. So let's see what we ended up seeing over here. We ended up getting, right, this whole range that we talked about that you broke down.
Yeah.
This whole thing held that resistance. You could arguably put this right here now that we're looking at it. So we ended up retesting this resistance right there, right? And that's why I was saying, because of this move right here, you're probably going to want to wait for that retest. And that's what you ended up getting. A nice support being held where you didn't over here, and price just shot up with a clean move to the left, retested this high almost perfectly. And this is a perfect example of why you want to set your TPs a little bit lower than the actual high over here, right? Because if you didn't, you would have been rejected the whole thing. Obviously, you would have been securing on the way up. But let's say you were a trader that really just, holds these trades and doesn't secure until their TP. That's where you want to put your TP few pips below the actual target.
Makes sense. Yeah, that's good to see. It's helpful. Thanks.
Absolutely. So yeah, so these are good to go back and look at and see what's going on with the current previous breakdowns that you guys do.
Mm-hmm.
All right, who's on deck?
I can go next.
Let's go. Love it. Who do you want to? What do you want to break down?
You can do something random.
Okay. You're a JPY.
Yeah, it works.
Jamie's old friend. I don't know if he's there. All right. Yes, sir. Up to you, buddy.
All right.
Take it away. By the way, U.S. Commander for the Air Force over the weekend was talking about how the U.S. might be in a war with China in 2025. So I came to the markets yesterday to see if that would maybe affect it. I didn't think it would, but it could add to gold buys. Any kind of fear. Multitasking got to drop in 3 minutes. All good, man. We'll make the donuts. Great levels.
That's a good spot.
Oh, sorry about that. So you were right here.
Yeah, so something like that.
Nice. Yeah, counting for this wick right over there as well,
Yeah.
which you know is a support. Let's bring that to the left more. All right. Anything else?
I think that's pretty good.
Awesome. Just a pause real quick. Charlie, you get more confident? Is that helping you?
Yeah, it's all learning. It's helping me out.
Awesome.
I'm fine with the zones. It's understanding the wicks and the candles is where I need to sharpen up my knowledge. But that will come with time. I'm confident it will.
Yeah, let's talk about that after this breakdown with Tiger.
Sure.
All right.
All right.
So what kind of break down what you're seeing? Like, speak your thoughts.
Yeah, so I'm seeing price get rejected a couple of times in these wicks right here in this area. And then I'm also seeing this resistance as well.
Nice.
So maybe something along the lines of just, anything that's just kind of, yeah, that's pretty good actually.
Basic. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah,
I was gonna say you can always too wait for like the daily or the 4 hour to see if that's where you want to break down levels. But yeah, accounting for these wicks, that's a resistance, hard rejection as well. Previous resistance as well to the left over here. So that could be your next target.
yeah, I think that might translate well to the 4 hour too. So we'll see it.
100%. And then all 2022 over here, we've been pretty bullish. Obviously, but actually going back to 2020 over here, we've been very bullish, right? So this could just be another higher low to retest the high over here, as we've seen multiple times in the past. Every time we create a high, we retest it or create a new high, retest it, create a new high, right? So we can do
Yeah.
the same thing over here, but it is pretty rangy right over here. So we'll see it on the lower, but the week so far, respect to the low of the previous week, right? And it's pretty bullish, right? So this thing could continue up, especially with their the ECB expecting a rate hike this week. We'll leave that to you.
Yeah, so probably just readjust this support to kind of just like respect this area here. Or maybe even push up to this area. Or just kind of draw a separate one.
Yeah, I would just do this right here now. And then you can mark off your next support. Where's your next destination.
So we have the current support here with these wicks respecting that area. So if you get a nice break below that current support, then we can have a potential range to the major one, the major support.
What does this look like? What pair? As far as this price action?
I don't know. It's just
Does it look like GJ a little bit?
yeah, I guess it's similar look to GJ, even GU sometimes.
Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, this obviously it makes sense because it's a Japanese yen pair, but it does look pretty similar over here. So you're really just waiting for this resistance to possibly break. But you're creating that higher low, kind of just ranging in here. But looking at the 4 hour, I gotta sneeze so bad. All right.
Yeah, 4 hours a little tough. I mean, we do have like a resistance in this area, but I just don't see any buys above this, at least until above this area.
Yep, makes sense.
Buys.
Now, one thing too, is do you want to readjust the support at all?
Yeah, I was gonna do it to yeah, this area right here. So something like down
Beautiful.
there.
Perfect. Now, one thing about that, the candles over here is we're creating these lower highs over here, right? And then holding this support more so this support over here. But does this candle tell you anything?
Yeah,
And
it's just
also the fact that we're kind of in that bullish trend overall.
it just kind of adds to that bullish sentiment where you get a
Little-
nice strong bullish close.
Yeah, just more so, it's not a setup that we just want to blindly buy on, but at the same time, like I could see this candle right here being the start of a little rally, at least coming into this area right here. You get what I'm saying?
Is that like type of like an engulfing pattern?
Yeah, it's just like just breaking down the candles over here and seeing where can I point that out to you? Like a similar setup. I've seen it a lot on GJ and Gold, but it's like when you're kind of ranging and creating like these lower highs, and then all of a sudden you start respecting a support and failing to break below that support, even though you're creating those lower highs, then all of a sudden you get a pullback with this candle right here, and then this candle bounces right off that support again, engulfs that candle, and closes a very strong body. After that, I could see this continuing up. Again, it's not something that you want to take a buy on because honestly, your support would have to, or your stop loss would have to be right below that candle, right? If you're going to trade this based on the 4 hour. But at the same time, like if you're going to do that, your risk to reward, it's right around 1-to-1, but at the same time, your high is right there. So the risk to reward would be off. It's just something that I could see playing out over here and continuing up. We'll keep an eye on this in the next few days, where EJ ends up going, especially with them raising rates. But I could see this being that final tap of this support and continuing down. It's just something to think about, it's not something to execute on, but it's like, okay, I could see this being the start of price continuing right through that level and continuing back up, mirroring that move to the left. Make sense?
Yeah. You can also just mark off that top level too, a potential target.
Right here?
Just zoom out a little bit. Yeah.
Up here?
This area up here. So we kind of have this area.
Nice. Go.
Yeah, I think that's everything. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay. 1 hour.
So yeah, 1 hour is in this range. I mean, I guess we can move this resistance up to here.
Okay.
Just small adjustments. We have this current resistance there.
Yep.
But overall, I think just this entire range, I probably wouldn't trade anything unless we get a good setup off this resistance to take sells like within this range down below here.
Yep.
But I think that's a little bit more aggressive than usual.
You're saying like something below here.
Yeah.
We could break out of that range, close below there, to continue down.
We would need like really good resistance, good structure in order to take something like that.
Mm-hmm. What could you see for buys? Like, what could you see price? Like, show me the arrows of where you think price could go right now.
Yeah, personally, I think price is probably just gonna come down. Shoot, hold on. Just kind of retest this area, but then overall just break through here. Just kind of retest through here.
Beautiful.
And usually, I would probably end up taking buys maybe above this level here. So kind of wait for a few retests and then push through here.
Yeah, this pullback right into here and holding support and then continuing up, I could definitely see. That's what I was thinking too. Yeah, we're just kind of ranging in here. It's definitely an area you might not want to take anything in.
There is a possibility, yeah, like that price comes and breaks below here and just retests and comes right down.
100%.
But I feel like that's a little risky just because we saw such a big volume push through here. Then, I mean, we might not get a similar case where it just fully like fills this entire area in one big candle.
100%. Yeah, let's go back to the higher time frames again just to get a good idea. Yeah, that was a strong bounce. I mean, we are creating those lower highs, right? So we're creating lower highs over here. I mean, could you make a range like a bearish trend? I guess, but it's not definite. But that daily candle right now already, you're getting all that volume starting off the week over here, engulfing that candle, possibly pushing through it, maybe closing like that right in that area. We continue to consolidate in here, and then the daily closes right there because this is the last session of the day. So looking at the 4 hour again, same thing, but you got that strong bounce off that area. You're starting to see like the market structure starting to change over here just by that candle holding that same exact support right there and right there. Right, as long as we don't create some kind of a lower high and break below this area to continue down, I think this thing could more likely continue up. There's more of a higher chance that happens.
I think that pullback that we also mentioned, that might just end up being like the lower wick of that current 4 hour.
Lower wick of this current 4 hour?
Yeah.
Could
so
be.
like a small pullback there could just kind of create that lower wick.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, like this 4 hour candle is going to be closing in the next 35 minutes. Right. So I could see it closing like that, maybe weaker, like you're saying, like if it could pull back over there.
Next
but
one opens.
We do know it's a lot weaker than the previous. Right. So we're seeing a little exhaustion at that previous resistance. But yeah, I do like the fact that this could pull back, maybe consolidate the rest of the day, and then tomorrow, you get that bottom wick on the daily, and then we continue right up from there. But I'm going to keep this mark down, and we're going to check back on it tomorrow. All right.
Cool.
I like it, man. Great job. Great job. We want to do one more? Carlos, you want to shake some rust off? Put you on the spot for a second. All right, it's not going to answer now. What else we got? I think Surge is working at the same time, so it's difficult. Damn, no one else? Okay. I love fucking with you guys. It's all love. All right, let's go back to our pairs. GJ, dog shit, right? Still sitting in that range. Weak candles, weak candle bodies. We just got that 30-minute bearish close over here. So we're still rejecting that area. Pretty similar to US Euro JPY, EJ. I could see this candle, not that I'm going to execute on it, but I could see after that candle closed, this candle is creating a nice healthy top wick. Could we pass below the previous candle? I would not take an impulse entry right there. You got to wait for the 30 to close in the next 3 minutes here. If it closes below that area, I could see this continuing down again. Let's go back to the daily again. Daily is holding support. So daily currently is bullish, but the previous daily candle did close bearish. 4 hour. 4 hour, again, we got a strong bullish candle close, but this candle starting to retrace and maybe possibly give us a lower high over here to continue down. 1 hour candle, creating that top wick in the first half of the candle, starting to flip now, right? So can we get what we got right here from these areas? Can we get a strong impulsive move coming down here with a new low as we've created in the past? So I would wait for that 30 minutes to close below there. But like I said, if I don't see what I want to see, I'm probably not going to be trading today. Right. And that's typically how every day should go. If you don't see what you want to see, you're not going to be trading. You're going to maybe lie back test if you see a possibility. Or just like one of those trades where it's like 50-50 that we were talking about this morning. But yeah, GJ, not so much. Gold sitting in this range, I'm not touching it. And then US 30, we're getting that bounce that I was talking about over here. Again, safe buys are going to be above this area. Let's go back to the 4 hour for a second. As we've rejected that area multiple times. And now we're starting to get that same exact thing. Don't forget, we're creating those lower highs. That's our recent lower high. But at the same time, we are creating higher lows, bouncing off that trend line and getting hard impulsive moves. Right? So why can't we get one right here? These are the weeks where the beginning of the week, the first day or two, got to be super careful. You want to be able to give yourself a fighting chance to end the week in a solid profit, right? You don't want to set yourself backwards, just trying to squeeze any kind of trade in today, and then all of a sudden you're in like 1% drawdown heading in, which is not a big deal. You could easily make that back, but why would you have to do that? Take the trades that you're 90%, 100% sure are going to play out, at least 99% sure they're going to play out on a Monday or Tuesday. And then you can head into that 80%, 70, 80% possibilities that playing out on the rest of the week as you have more volume and trending markets. All right, guys, any questions?
All good.
Awesome. Well, great job showing up. Good start to the week. We'll be back testing tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. Now, again, like I said, looking at the calendar here, we're going to be going from 7 a.m. every day other than Thursday. So Thursday, the bank rate's coming out for Great Britain over here. So we're going to start at 6:30 on Thursday. But other than that, every other day is going to be 7 a.m. All right. Just so we get and then, make sure you guys are coming to the market on Thursday at 6:30 so we could do our quick breakdowns, talk a little bit. We always catch up in the morning. We'll catch up, get right to business, do our mission statement and everything, and then we're getting ourselves ready for that move. And then we could catch the reaction as always. All right, guys, great job last week as well. Let's pick it up. Let's set some high standards for yourselves this week and get those daily musts done every single day. And again, sense of urgency, focus on speed today when it comes to the tasks that you guys got to do. Eliminate every single excuse in your life. Once you start doing that, you guys are going to start taking more and more steps forward. No room for excuses. Also, victim mindset, cancel it. You got any adversity this weekend or last week or anything like that? All right, I'm in full control over my week this week, over my actions and all that stuff. All right. So have a great day. Finish the daily must. Get that check mark in. I'll be racing you guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning.
Thanks a lot, Steph.
Awesome.
Have a great day.
See you
See you, boys.
tomorrow.
Welcome back, Carlos.